All right, now we're going to jump into looking at 16.5, which is over some financial tools for control. Financial controls are needed to monitor the organization's financial performance. Take a look at budgets here. A budget is a formal financial projection. A budget states an organization's planned activities for a given period of time in quantitative terms. Budgets are prepared for the organization as a whole and for the divisions within it. A budget provides a yardstick against which managers can measure performance and make comparisons. There are two budget approaches, zero-based and incremental. Zero-based forces each department to start from zero in projecting funding needs, but is no longer favored. Instead, we look at incremental budgeting, which allocates increased or decreased funds to a department by using the last budget period as a reference point. Only incremental budget changes or only incremental changes in the budget request are reviewed. One difficulty is that incremental budgets tend to lock departments into stable spending arrangements. Another difficulty is that a department may engage in many activities of varying importance, so it can be difficult to sort out how well managers performed at the varying activities. We also have fixed versus variable budgets. A fixed budget allocates resources on the basis of a single estimate of costs. The budget does not allow for adjustments to be made over time. And a variable budget, also known as a flexible budget, allows the allocation of resources to vary in proportion with various levels of activity. This budget can be adjusted over time as environment changes. And you can see here on table 16.1, we have different types of budgets and their descriptions here. And you can kind of see some of these type budgets you might see in an organization. A big example here obviously is a sales or revenue budget, which kind of predicts or projects future sales, usually by month or quarter, or even by product. You have an expense budget. We all hate to run into these expense budgets, but these are project expenses for a given activity for a given period. So we have different kinds of budgets that you're going to see in an organization as a manager. Also in this section we talked about financial statements, which kind of summarize the organization's financial status. A financial statement is a summary of some aspect of organization's financial status. You have the balance sheet, which summarizes an organization's overall financial worth, its assets and its liabilities at any given point in time. Now, assets are those resources that an organization controls and consists of current assets and fixed assets. Current assets are cash and other assets that are readily convertible to cash within a 1 year's time frame. Whereas fixed assets are property, building, equipment, and the like, which have a useful life that exceed 1 year, but which are usually harder to convert into actual cash. Another term that I just used was liabilities. Now, liabilities are claims or debts by suppliers, lenders, and other non-owners of the organization against a company's assets. We also talked about in the text the income statement. This is just a picture of the organization's financial results for a specific period of time. And the income statement summarizes an organization's financial results, such as with revenues and expenses over that period of time, such as a quarter or a year. And revenues are assets resulting from the sale of the organization's goods or services, and expenses are the costs required to produce those goods and services. The difference between revenues and expenses represents the profits or losses incurred over that period of time. Now we also talked about total quality management in the next part of the chapter. If you remember that the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award was created by Congress to be the most prestigious recognition of quality in the U.S. Now in the early 80s, surveys showed that 3/4 of Americans considered products made overseas to be equal or superior in quality to U.S. made products. Many quality improvements in Japanese products came from American consultants Edwards Deming and Joseph Juran, whose work led to TQM, or Total Quality Management. Deming's challenge, known as Deming Management, proposed ideas for making organizations more responsive to also being more democratic and less wasteful, and included 4 principles. Those four principles were: quality should be aimed at the needs of the customers. Companies should aim at improving the system, not blaming its workers. The next principle was improved quality leads to increased market share, increased company prospects, and increased employment. Quality can be improved by using the PDCA cycle. The PDCA cycle is a plan to check, act cycle using observed data for continuous improvement of operations. So you see the plan is the P, do is the D, act and check. Now, we talk about total quality management. This is defined as a comprehensive approach led by top management and supported throughout your organization, dedicated to continuous quality improvement, training, and overall customer satisfaction. And there are four components to TQM. Make continuous improvement a priority. Get every employee involved. Listen to and learn from customers and employees. And lastly, use accurate standards to identify and eliminate problems. Now, these may be summarized as two core principles of total quality management. People orientation, which is get everyone involved with the organization focused on delivering value to the customers. And the second principle of improvement orientation. Everyone should work on continuously improving the work processes. In summary, those two core principles of TQM are people orientation and improvement orientation. Now, some total quality management techniques that were talked about in the chapter for improving your overall quality include benchmarking, outsourcing, reduced cycle time, ISO 9000 and ISO 14000, statistical process control, and Six Sigma. Now, quickly, benchmarking is a process by which a company compares its performance with that of high-performing organizations. Outsourcing, this is the subcontracting of services and operations to an outside vendor. Usually this is done because the subcontractor vendor can do the job better or cheaper. Reduced cycle time is the reduction in steps in a work process. If you can eliminate some wasteful motions, unnecessary steps, and the like, can improve your overall performance. The International Organization for Standardization, ISO, create a set of quality standards known as the 9000 series. An ISO 9000 series consists of quality control procedures companies must install, from purchasing to manufacturing to inventory to shipping. And these processes or procedures can be audited by independent quality control experts or registers. Companies must document their adherence to these standards. The ISO 14000 series extends the concept, identifying standards for environmental performance as well. Talked about statistical process control, and this is a statistical technique that uses periodic random samples from production runs to see if quality is being maintained within the standard range of acceptability. If quality is not acceptable, production should be stopped to make corrections to get them within those standards again. We talked about Six Sigma as well, and Six Sigma is just a rigorous statistical analysis process that reduces defects in manufacturing and service-related processes. A company using Six Sigma attempts to improve quality and reduce waste to the point where errors nearly vanish. Now, reaching Six Sigma means that there are no more than 3.4 defects per million products or procedures. Six Sigma essentially means being 99.9997% perfect in what you do. The Six Sigma philosophy is to reduce variation and make customer-focused, data-driven decisions. A recent approach is known as Lean Six Sigma, which focuses on problem-solving and performance improvement, kind of speed with excellence of a well-defined project. Six Sigma and Lean Six Sigma cannot compensate for human error or control events outside a company. However, it gives a manager a more tangible, data-oriented way to approach its problem solving. Well, everyone, that's it for your quick video presentation for Chapter 16, which was over control and quality control improvement. Hopefully you can dig into these concepts a little bit more on your own and see that you can utilize these concepts as a manager in your organization. Thanks for joining everyone. Have a great time.